Hello, and welcome back to Tiny Win English.
Welcome back, everyone.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Sam.
If you are joining us for the first time, this is a calm little space for English learning, real life, and slow thinking.
Very slow thinking, which is good, because my fast thinking is usually not my best thinking.
Same here, and today we are talking about something very real.
How to stay positive and calm under pressure.
Maybe you're listening while you walk.
Maybe you're washing dishes.
Maybe you're on the sofa with a blanket.
Maybe you're on a train.
Maybe you're sitting in your car for 2 extra minutes before going inside.
Maybe you are avoiding one email right now.
That is also a kind of listening mood.
It really is.
Let's do a tiny check-in game.
Yes. What are you today? A quiet cup of tea? A bag of popcorn in a microwave? Or a snow globe that somebody just shook?
I love that image.
I do not love that image, because today I am absolutely the snow globe.
And that image will help us today, because pressure can feel like that. Your thoughts fly everywhere, your heart moves fast, and you cannot see clearly.
Yes, the glitter is everywhere. The tiny fake snow is everywhere. Your brain is like, good luck.
So our topic is not just positivity in a cute smiling way.
Right, not fake happy.
We're talking about how to stay steady when life is asking a lot from you.
And while we do that, you'll hear useful expressions, natural spoken English, and simple ways to talk about stress, pressure, and recovery.
So this is English practice, but also a little life reflection.
This episode is around B1 to B2 level, so some parts may feel a little richer, but you do not need to catch every word.
Yes, stay with the main ideas. We'll repeat key phrases and keep the language clear.
And if one part feels fast, you can always come back and replay it. You will catch more each time.
And near the end, we'll do a full word tour with 10 useful words and phrases from today.
So stay with us for that part. It will be very good for shadowing.
Also, one quick question for the comments. When do you feel the most under pressure? At work, at school, at home, or in social situations?
Or all of the above, which is a very honest answer.
If this episode helps, you can subscribe and come back to Tiny Win English next time.
And if one person came to mind, you can send this to them too.
All right, let's begin with one simple idea.
Staying positive and calm under pressure does not mean pretending everything is okay.
It means you learn how to let the snow settle.
Yes, not perfect, just settled enough to see.
And we'll take this in 4 parts.
4 calm parts for 4 slightly dramatic people.
First, let's talk about what happens in the first moment of pressure.
That dangerous first moment, my specialty.
When we say under pressure, we simply mean in a situation with a lot of stress, demand, time, or expectation.
Like when your boss says, "Can we talk later?" And suddenly you feel like you're in a movie about the end of the world.
Exactly. That is a good example.
Too good. I know that example too well.
In that first moment, many people spiral.
Spiral is a very useful word. It means your thoughts quickly go down and down into fear or panic.
Yes. One small problem becomes 10 big problems in your mind.
A text message becomes a career funeral.
A late reply becomes, they hate me.
A hard question in class becomes, "I will never learn English again."
Maybe you know this feeling.
You're not weird.
This happens to a lot of people.
Including me. Very much including me.
A small first skill here is to buy yourself a moment.
I love that phrase.
To buy yourself a moment means to create a little space before you react.
Not a full vacation. Not a 3-day mountain trip. Just a moment.
Maybe one breath.
Maybe one sip of water.
Maybe looking out the window for 5 seconds.
Maybe not answering the message in the exact second your heart jumps into your throat.
Right.
I had this happen last year. I got a message from a client that said, "We need to change the plan. Please call me." That was it. Very short, very normal. But my brain did not say, a normal message.
Of course not.
My brain said, "Well, Sam, this is the end. The work is gone. Your reputation is gone. You will soon live under a bridge with one notebook and no charger."
That is so real.
I walked around my apartment for 10 minutes. I opened the fridge. I closed the fridge. I looked at a banana like it had wisdom for me. I was fully spiraling.
And what helped?
I sat down and said out loud, "Buy yourself a moment." I drank water. I put both feet on the floor. I did not call right away. I waited maybe 3 minutes, which felt like a heroic act.
And then?
Then I called, and the big emergency was, they wanted to move one meeting from Thursday to Friday.
Exactly.
I had built a whole disaster from one sentence.
That's the point. In the first pressure moment, the goal is not to become cheerful.
Right. Nobody needs to sing.
The goal is to stop the extra shaking. Imagine that snow globe again. If you keep shaking it with scary thoughts, you see less and less.
But if you pause, the snow starts to fall.
So here's the idea from this first part. When pressure hits, do less first.
Yes, less story, less speed, less panic texting.
Buy yourself a moment.
Let the snow settle a little.
And once you have that small moment, the second part becomes possible.
Because now we can talk about the story in your head.
Yes, the second part is this: separate facts from fear.
Oh, this one hurts.
It does, but it helps.
Because my fear loves costumes. It arrives dressed as truth.
Exactly. Under pressure, we often tell ourselves a worst-case scenario.
Worst case scenario is a phrase you will hear a lot in real spoken English. It means the most negative thing you think could happen.
And sometimes it is useful to think about risk,
Yes, sometimes.
but very often, under pressure, the worst-case scenario becomes the only scenario in our mind.
Which is not accurate. It's just loud.
So here's another helpful phrase: zoom out.
Zoom out means step back and look at the bigger picture. Not only the tiny scary detail in front of you.
Like a camera.
Yes. Close up, you only see one shaking eye. Zoom out, you see the whole room.
Here's a mini scenario. You make one mistake in a presentation.
And your brain says, everyone noticed. Everyone is judging me. I should move to another country.
But if you zoom out, you may notice that most people are thinking about themselves, their coffee, their lunch, or their own next meeting.
Exactly. They're not building a museum for your small mistake.
Another scenario, you send a message and the person does not reply for 6 hours.
And you think, this friendship is over. I am now a social ghost.
But the facts are only these. You sent a message and there's no reply yet.
That's it. That is the whole fact list.
This is useful for English too, by the way. Notice the difference between facts and interpretation. This is very natural spoken English. The fact is, and the story I'm telling myself is.
That second sentence is powerful.
It is. You can say, the fact is, my teacher asked to speak with me. The story I'm telling myself is that I failed.
I really like that.
I had a moment like this before a workshop. It was a room full of people and the microphone was not working. Then the slides opened in the wrong order. Then someone at the back said, "We can't hear you."
Oh no.
Yes. Oh no. And for about 20 seconds, my mind jumped to the worst-case scenario. I thought, this is a disaster, I look unprepared, everyone will lose trust in me.
That is the fast brain.
Exactly, but then I zoomed out. I asked, what is true right now? The true things were simple. The mic had a problem. The slides were mixed up. The people were waiting. That was all.
Not pleasant, but also not the end of your life.
Correct. So I smiled. I said, give me 1 minute, and I fixed one thing at a time.
And the room probably got calmer because you got calmer.
Yes, people often borrow calm from each other.
That is beautiful, and also a little scary.
It is real.
So the second idea is this. Ask yourself, what is the fact and what is the fear?
Yes. And then zoom out.
Look at the bigger picture.
Maybe you know this feeling of living inside one tiny scary detail.
If this sounds like you, please hear this clearly. Your first thought is not always your clearest thought.
And once you separate fact from fear, the third part becomes much easier.
Because then you can actually do something useful.
Exactly. The third part is about steady action.
Small action. Beautiful, boring, life-saving small action.
Yes. Another helpful phrase here is steady yourself.
To steady yourself means to make yourself more calm and stable,
Not perfect, stable.
like holding the table when the bus stops suddenly.
Or like planting your feet when the ground feels busy.
I need that.
When pressure's high, the body matters. Your thoughts matter, yes, but your body also tells the story.
Fast shoulders, tight jaw, short breath, weird stomach.
Exactly, so sometimes the next right step is very physical. Put your shoulders down, unclench your hands. Exhale longer than you inhale.
Yes, because if my body is acting like a fire alarm, my mind believes there is a fire.
Right. Then we add another simple phrase, one thing at a time.
This is not exciting advice, but it works.
One thing at a time means you do the next clear step, not all the future steps at once.
If you are late, worried, hungry, and upset, you do not solve your whole life in the kitchen.
No, you choose one next move.
Put on your shoes.
Send the short email.
Write the first sentence.
Wash one plate.
Study one page.
Here's a mini scenario. A parent is trying to leave the house. The child cannot find a shoe. The phone is ringing. Breakfast is still on the table.
The toast is somehow burning even though nobody remembers making toast.
Exactly.
That home has pressure.
In that moment, positivity is not saying, this is magical.
No one says that.
Calm is saying, one thing at a time. Shoe first.
Yes, shoe first is a philosophy.
Another phrase I like here is ride the wave.
Ride the wave means accept that this hard feeling is moving, and you move with it instead of fighting every second.
Stress often comes like a wave. It rises, it feels strong, and then it changes.
I like that more than pretending I am a rock. I do not feel like a rock. I feel like a person who forgot 3 passwords.
Fair.
I had a very wave-like day in an airport once. My flight was delayed, then changed, then delayed again. My phone battery was at 4%. I had one bad sandwich. I was trying to answer messages, and because I was already tired, every small thing felt personal.
Yes, pressure makes everything feel louder.
At one point, I was standing near gate 18, and they announced that the flight would now leave from gate 42. I looked at the screen and honestly felt offended. Not just stressed, offended.
I know that feeling.
My brain said, this airport has chosen me as its enemy. Very mature thinking.
Very human thinking.
I wanted to complain, panic, and maybe lie on the floor. But instead I told myself 3 things. Steady yourself, one thing at a time. Ride the wave. So first I breathed, then I charged my phone for 2 minutes, then I walked to the new gate. Then I sent one message, running late, flight issue. That was all.
Small steps.
And the day was still annoying.
Important point.
Yes, very important. Calm action does not make pressure fun. It just stops you from becoming extra tired on top of already tired.
That is so important.
If this sounds like you, please remember, calm is often practical.
Not poetic. Practical.
Water, breath, shoes, one message, next step.
So the third idea is steady yourself, then do one thing at a time, and ride the wave instead of fighting the whole ocean.
We are not trying to control every wave.
We are trying not to drown in our own extra panic.
Good sentence.
And that brings us to the fourth part.
The part about positivity, which people often misunderstand.
Yes, real positivity under pressure is not forced brightness.
Not the smile that looks a little painful.
Exactly. Real positivity is closer to hope, perspective, and recovery.
I like that better already.
A very useful phrase here is keep perspective.
Keep perspective means remember what really matters and how big this problem really is.
It is like standing on a hill instead of putting your whole face against one wall.
Nice image.
Here's a mini scenario. You have one bad meeting in the morning,
And then your brain says the whole week is ruined.
but if you keep perspective, you may say, that meeting was hard, but it was 1 hour, not my whole life.
Yes,
Another good phrase is bounce back.
bounce back means recover after something difficult.
Not instantly.
No, this is important. Bounce back does not mean you become cheerful in 12 seconds.
It means you return. You come back to yourself,
Maybe slowly.
maybe quietly.
Maybe after a walk and a sandwich.
Also, yes.
I think this part matters because many people feel ashamed after pressure. Maybe you spoke too sharply. Maybe you cried. Maybe you forgot something. Maybe your voice shook in a meeting.
This happens to a lot of people.
Truly, a lot.
And positivity can sound silly in that moment.
Yes. If someone says, just be positive, I may need to go stand alone for a minute.
Understandable.
But if someone says, keep perspective, you can bounce back. That feels kind and realistic.
I had a class once that did not go well. My examples were too long. My energy was off. I could feel that the students were trying, but the room was flat.
Oof.
Yes. When I finished, I felt heavy. I wanted to replay every awkward second.
That painful mental replay.
Exactly. But later that evening, I asked myself two things. First, what can I learn? Second, how can I keep perspective? One class was not my whole teaching life. One hard day was not proof that I had nothing to give.
That is such a good line.
Then I made one change for the next class. Just one. And that was part of bouncing back.
Learn, adjust, return.
Yes. And there is one more thing. Staying positive under pressure also means protecting what helps you recover.
Sleep.
Sleep,
Food.
food,
A walk.
a walk.
Not reading stressful messages in bed if you can help it.
Yes. Because if you shake the snow globe all night, of course the morning will look cloudy.
There is our snow globe again.
Always.
So the fourth idea is keep perspective and trust that you can bounce back.
Pressure is part of life.
But pressure is not your whole identity.
Exactly.
And before we finish, let's do the word tour.
Yes. This is the part you can replay for listening practice and shadowing.
If you want real spoken English, this is a very good section to repeat with us.
You do not need to remember everything today.
Not at all.
Just listen, repeat, and keep a few phrases.
Ready?
First expression, under pressure.
Under pressure means in a stressful situation with a lot of demand or expectation.
Example 1. I work well under pressure, but I need a short break after.
Example 2. She felt under pressure before the exam.
Say it with us, under pressure.
One more time. Slowly, under pressure.
Good. Second word, spiral.
Spiral means your thoughts quickly go down into fear, stress, or panic.
Example 1. I got one strange email, and I started to spiral.
Example 2. Try not to spiral before you know the facts.
Repeat after us, spiral.
Slowly, spiral.
Third phrase, buy yourself a moment.
Buy yourself a moment means create a little time before you react.
Example 1. Before I answered, I bought myself a moment and took a breath.
Example 2. When you feel angry, buy yourself a moment.
Say it with us. Buy yourself a moment.
One more time. Buy yourself a moment.
Fourth phrase, steady yourself.
Steady yourself means make yourself calmer and more stable.
Example 1. She put her feet on the floor to steady herself.
Example 2. Take a breath and steady yourself before the meeting.
Repeat. Steady yourself.
Slowly, steady yourself.
Fifth phrase, worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario means the most negative thing you think could happen.
Example 1. My worst case scenario was much worse than reality.
Example 2. Don't live inside the worst case scenario all day.
Say it with us. Worst case scenario.
One more time. Slowly. Worst case scenario.
Sixth phrase, zoom out.
Zoom out means step back and look at the bigger picture.
Example 1. I was upset, so I tried to zoom out.
Example 2. Zoom out and ask what really matters here.
Repeat after us. Zoom out.
Again, zoom out.
Seventh phrase, one thing at a time.
One thing at a time means focus on the next step, not everything at once.
Example 1. I clean the kitchen one thing at a time.
Example 2. When I feel stressed, I tell myself, one thing at a time.
Say it with us. One thing at a time.
One more time. And really hear the rhythm, one thing at a time.
8th phrase, keep perspective.
Keep perspective means remember the bigger truth, not only the small painful moment.
Example 1. It was a bad meeting, but I tried to keep perspective.
Example 2. Keep perspective. This problem is real, but it is not your whole life.
Repeat, keep perspective.
Slowly, keep perspective.
9th phrase, ride the wave.
Ride the wave means accept that the feeling is moving and move through it without fighting every second.
Example 1. Today is stressful, so I'm just trying to ride the wave.
Example 2. You don't need to control everything. Sometimes you ride the wave.
Say it with us, ride the wave.
One more time. Ride the wave.
10th phrase, bounce back.
Bounce back means recover and return after something difficult.
Example 1. I was tired after the interview, but I bounced back.
Example 2. Give yourself time to bounce back after a hard week.
Repeat after us, bounce back.
Again, slowly, bounce back.
Very good.
And if you want extra listening practice, replay this word tour and shadow us.
Pause after each phrase, repeat it, and use your own example.
And really, you do not need to remember all 10 today.
If you remember 3, that is already useful.
If you remember one and actually use it, that is excellent.
You did well today.
Yes, you really did.
So let's end with one simple life lesson.
When pressure shakes you like a snow globe, don't shake yourself more.
Buy yourself a moment, look at the facts, take one next step, and trust that you can bounce back.
That is the whole heart of today.
Tiny homework for you. Write one sentence using the phrase one thing at a time.
For example, this week is busy, so I'm taking it one thing at a time.
Or write your own sentence with under pressure, zoom out, or bounce back.
And answer our question from the beginning. When do you feel the most under pressure?
Tell us in the comments. Writing one real sentence is great English practice.
If this episode helped you feel calmer and gave you useful English, you can subscribe and come back for the next one.
And if someone in your life needs a little steadiness today, you can share it with them. Thanks for spending this time with us here on Tiny Win English.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Chloe.
Take care of your mind.
Take care of your breath.
Let the snow settle.
And we'll meet you in the next video right here, same quiet corner, same real English, same calm little pause in the day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.